So Jesus talked about many things that were going to happen at the end of days, and one of these things was the rise of false prophets and how they're going to lead many astray. We can see how they're twisting scripture. We can see how they are trying to make parts of the Bible appear as if they were not meant for believers today. And that's clearly not the case. One of these, for example, is Matthew 24, where the disciples were talking about the temple, and Jesus came and said, "I tell you, not one of these stones will lie upon another." Essentially, he was telling them that the temple was going to be destroyed. All the stones were going to be thrown down. And the disciples followed up and asked him, "Tell us when these things are going to happen, and what are the signs of your coming? And when is the end of the age?" They asked him 3 questions. So Jesus answered them exactly as he would. It wasn't something that was happening in 70 AD and then it was complete. Jesus had, because he is God, he knows the past, the present, and the future. He had to answer them the first question, which was 70 AD, the temple would be destroyed, the second temple, and it was. Then he answered the second question, which is, what are the signs of your coming? And he told them the various things that would happen. And then he said, what is the end? When is the end of the age? And so if you read through Matthew 24, you can see there are a series of events that take place. It starts from 70 AD, and it goes on all the way until where we are today. Future events that have not yet been fulfilled, but future events that will happen. The coming of Christ. Revelations. The seals. The trumpets. The vials. All these are future events that have yet to take place. But some people would have you believe that all of these events have been fulfilled. That Matthew 24 is not applicable to today. When in fact, this is a complete lie and deception. The very lie that Jesus warned us about. The false prophets that would arise. We've always heard that end times were just a secondary issue. But when end times causes you to have to completely contort Scripture and even set you up for the possible reception of the Antichrist when he arrives, think about that. If everything was already fulfilled and there is still a yet future Antichrist that claims to be Messiah, will those who claim it was already fulfilled not be ready to receive him as a Messiah? And those who are claiming that this is the Antichrist will be deemed as the unbelievers. Those who are claiming that he is the Messiah will be deemed as the true believers. Let's read through this verse here. It says, Jesus left the temple and was going away. When his disciples came to point out to him the buildings of the temple, but he answered them, "You see all these, do you not? Truly I say to you, there will not be left here one stone upon another that will not be thrown down." As he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, "Tell us, when will these things be? And what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age?" So as you can see here, there's 3 separate questions the disciples were asking him. They wanted to know, when will the temple be destroyed, as you are indicating? And also tell us about the sign of your coming, and tell us about the end of the age. Jesus answered them, "See that no one leads you astray, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am the Christ,' and they will lead many astray. And you will hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you are not alarmed, for this must take place, but the end is not yet. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. All these are but the beginning of birth pains." So they want to tell you that all these events have already taken place. Everything is past. Everything has been fulfilled. But as you keep reading, you start to realize how could this actually have been fulfilled? We don't want to leave anything out, okay? Verse 27, for as the lightning comes from the east and shines as far as the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Wherever the corpse is, there the vultures will gather. Go down to 29. It talks about the tribulation of those days. This is a reference to Revelation 6, where the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Now keep in mind, this is all in the same context, in the same conversation that Jesus is sharing with the disciples. So ask yourself the question, how could this have been fulfilled? How? Did Jesus come already? Did you already miss Jesus? Did he already come? No. Anyone who tells you this has been fulfilled is a false prophet and a liar.